Hello, my name is James Dawson, and my other group members are Melissa Stotts and Mary Katie Mills. Our 21st Century Learning Project deals with better serving students who suffer from emotional and behavioral disorders, otherwise known as EBD.
I live with a son who's mentally ill. I love my son, but he terrifies me. A few weeks ago, Michael pulled a knife and threatened to kill me and then himself after I asked him to return his overdue library books.
That was Lisa Long, talking about her 13-year-old son for NPR's Story Corps segment shortly after the 2013 shootings in Newtown, Connecticut. Her son, Michael, not his real name, suffers from several disorders, namely bipolar disorder, intermittent explosive disorder, ADHD, and oppositional defiant disorder. All of these fall under the emotional and behavioral disorders, or EBD, spectrum. Outbursts such as Michael's are unfortunately all too common for parents of children with EBD. EBD covers a wide gamut of disorders, from the familiar disorders such as ADHD that most teachers will encounter in the classroom to more severe behavioral and emotional disorders such as bipolar disorder and oppositional defiant disorder. Students who fall under the spectrum of emotional and behavioral disorders often suffer from hyperactivity, increased aggression, self-injurious behavior, withdrawal from social activities, immaturity, and learning difficulties. The causes of these symptoms are unknown. They could be a result of many things, including diet, heredity, stress, brain disorders, elevated lead levels, and etc. Many of the students of EBD exhibit internalizing behaviors such as low self-esteem or depression. These students may go undiagnosed and struggle to get the attention they need. Others, however, may exhibit externalizing behaviors. Of these, conduct disorders are some of the most challenging emotional and behavioral disorders for parents and teachers to overcome. Children who exhibit a conduct disorder may show aggression to other people or animals. They may lie, cheat, steal, or cause destruction to property. Left untreated, many children with a conduct disorder eventually make their way into the adult correctional system.
Over 2 million young people in the United States have an emotional behavioral disability. To be diagnosed with an EBD, an established pattern of emotional or behavioral responses must negatively impact education or developmental performance, including interpersonal, academic, vocational, or social skills. Some important statistics regarding the severity of EBD in the educational system are 1 in 10 of every student in the classroom will have an EBD. Nationally, only 40% of students with EBD graduate from high school compared to the national average of 76%. Students with EBD are 3 times as likely as other students to be arrested before leaving school. Students with EBD are twice as likely as other students with disabilities to live in a correctional facility, halfway house, drug treatment center, or on the street after leaving school. Female students with EBD are twice as likely as students with other disabilities to become teenage mothers. 75% of young adults with EBD have been involved with the criminal justice system at some point in their lives. Students with EBD do not respond well to traditional disciplinary policies and educational programs. As a result, students with these disorders can easily be dismissed as problem children. This has the opposite response as it further reinforces the characteristics of the disorder, including anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and aggression. The implementation of zero-tolerance programs in schools often leads to increased suspensions and expulsions for both serious and mild infractions, and significantly impacts children with EBD, as management of the behaviors is a struggle for them. In interviews with students diagnosed with EBD, many report that they feel they are targeted, and they feel as if they are walking on eggshells within the schools. A zero-tolerance disciplinary program, which is often implemented, is not the way. Behavioral specialists can teach teachers and administration different techniques for management of the difficult behaviors present for students with EBD, including implementing a positive reinforcement system, teaching them about providing differential reinforcement and praise, allowing for additional prompts and additional choices.
As previously discussed, a zero-tolerance disciplinary program is not the way. We feel that with training and support, we can strengthen those who are EBD. We want to introduce a plan to train teachers and administrators to manage the difficult behaviors of students with EBD in the classroom. Just as allowances in differentiated instruction is allowed for students with other disabilities, we believe it is important for students with EBD to be given the same educational opportunities. It is important that permission is granted for the district and funding is allocated. Once that has been obtained, behavioral specialists will be hired and scheduled on a roaming schedule. The work for the project is to be divided between several parties. The administration will manage the grant, donations, and reporting. The school counselors and department heads will work closely with the behavioral specialists to organize trainings and requests for aid with difficult situations. The training will be led by the behavioral specialists. The behavioral specialists will train throughout the district on a roaming schedule. They will also be available to the schools on an appointment basis to aid in difficult situations. The training will include psychoeducational materials, providing educators with a brief overview of the most common disorders, including oppositional defiance disorder, also known as ODD, conduct disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, also known as ADHD, and anxiety. The training will provide educators with evidence-based interventions that will assist them in managing the behaviors in the classroom, including showing understanding, structuring, providing differential reinforcement, positive praise, and allowing for additional prompting and choices as it is related to instruction. The plan will be assessed through multiple aspects: longitudinal study to see the changes comparing the dropout rates between the years, truancies of EBD students, and the grades of EBD students. The training will take place during the summer in the schools and will extend through the school year. The longitudinal study is to take place for 5 years. It is extremely important to remember that EBD students have various backgrounds and reasons that cause them to act out in class. It is with this training that teachers and administrators will be better able to assist EBD students succeed.